You can also create group masters and things like that, and you can set scenes where you have things going to different levels, and until you touch them with your finger, your human finger, they don't know they've been moved, and then once you touch them, then they know that they've been moved, and they jump to their new location. It's very convenient for mixing. Those moves can also be stored by the computer and synchronized to time code on tape, and that's what's typically referred to as mix automation, so that you can have all the little fader moves that you do remembered by the computer and done in real time as the tape is playing. That's way more cumbersome than it's worth, unless you're working on a mix that's going to take you all week and it has a million little fiddly bits.
Does it take a lot of time to program the things to set up?
It actually learns what you're doing while you're doing it.
Oh,
what
okay.
takes time is the administrative, the bookkeeping part of telling it which version you want it to save and which version,
Right.
like...
It creates a tree of...
Every time you play the tape, it generates another universe.
So you can do tweaks and edits of the...
And then you can go back to 2 tweaks before for
Right.
just the bass drum, and then do a whole new thing for the hi-hat, and then, which is why a mix would take a week, because you can have these insane microscopic adjustments.
And the other room doesn't have that,
No,
right?
the other room does not have that, so we can't earn as much money from other engineers in the other room. But this room does have it.
So do you guys
We do have a mixing stick
here?
upstairs.
Yeah, we do have a mixing stick.
Mixing stick.
That's a stick
Like
that
a
goes
blender,
across
or-
a number of channels, and you can move a bunch of channels at once.
I thought it was one of those drink mixers that you
could
like
put it on
blend
a
smoothies with.
crank
Like,
and
I think that's
kind
right.
of
Yeah.
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 We
What,
trained some small mammals.
what Steve's underplaying for the console upstairs is that we've set up basically a logic group of circuits, so you can have up to 10 groups of things on your faders. So you have
You can
soloing
do
and
muting and
capability.
soloing and that sort of stuff
Okay.
with single button.
I mean, would you
controls.
guys normally do something that's recorded upstairs but then bring it here to mix
That
because of
happens,
the...
but typically sessions stay in one studio for
Okay.
the duration.
Okay.
It has, I mean, basically, like if a mix needs more treatment than we have fingers available, we can break up the actual mixing part into chunks
Right.
because, again, it's tape, so we can...
We can get like a guy off the street too.
Well, no, but I mean, like if the first part is really complicated, you tend to mix the first part, and when you're happy with it, move on to the next bit,
Right.
and then edit the sections together on the half-inch.
Okay. Makes
You
sense.
know.
So it's not as visually exciting, but we can do either thing in either place. This one is just a matter of convenience. If he wants to move 9 faders at once, he can chunk them up to 1 fader. But for the most part, there's not a lot of wild piano playing or fader jockeying that happens. It's usually pretty subtle.
If you were doing something that required that kind of really radical treatment in the mix, then that implies that there were decisions that were unmade until that point, and that's not typically the way we work in the studio.
Right.
And also, if you had a super complicated mix that required a bunch of stuff like that, just from a practical standpoint, it would make more sense to do it inside a computer. And most of the stuff that we do is performance-based. That is, there's a band playing a song,
Right.
Rather than
I
a
can't
bunch of
imagine us being in that
uncorrelated files.
situation. There's only 3 of us. So.
I mean, a lot of it is dynamics based too. I mean, you guys know when the quiet part of the song comes.
Right.
and,
Right.
So it's by showing that off, I didn't mean to throw you off the trail. I just wanted to look at this neat thing. You can touch it and it does stuff.
We like shiny things too.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Just want to make it worth the price of admission is all. So,
What are we charging anyway?
what for tours?
Yeah. Used to be 1,000. What is it now?
We're giving them away.
Oh,
I gave them
thanks,
pencils.
Obama.
Yeah.